I want this year to be the year when I'm finally doing things. It feels like I've been saying that for a while now. And I have done and experienced things I'm super proud of. The main thing is that I keep putting off music. I always come up with new excuses about it not being the right time or circumstances. I'll get small bursts of inspiration, but it never lasts long. I know I'm procrastinating the things that are the most important to me. Music, vlog creation, sometimes even things I try to think about strictly as hobbies, like painting. I'm scared to ruin the painting, to not be able to write new songs, but it's never gonna develop if I don't dare to touch it. I have a tendency to judge the work in each step of the process, not letting anything freely develop under my critical eye. But I've realized that my only goal is the act of showing up, not to expect or judge anything, just to show up, create, and be present, to allow it to be fun, and believing something can actually thrive from acting out of joy and not fear.
Hello, and welcome back. So today's Monday, and Monday usually means school, but not today, because I was a bit sick in the end of last week, and it feels like it's still there, so I'm not going to cough on all my classmates. Instead, we are here, hanging out. Nice. Anyways, I feel a bit rusty because I haven't been vlogging so much lately, but I'm excited to get back to it, because it's one of all those things that I actually feel super excited about and really want to do, but I'm keep putting it off because I'm building up so much pressure within myself to do it, and then it feels almost impossible to actually get started. And I had such a big realization about this because I randomly came upon this audiobook that was called The Perfectionist Guide to Perfectionism. Something, I'm gonna link it in the description. But anyways, the book started out with a quiz where you could find out which kind of perfectionist you were. And I was surprisingly a procrastinator-perfectionist. Because first I was like, what? Procrastination? Nah, I don't really do that, because I do a lot of things. I'm really good at keeping the house in order, doing the chores, being really structured and planning. But then I realized that what I'm procrastinating is actually the things that means the most to me. Things like vlogging, music, creative things. And instead I'm kind of escaping into all these practical things. Chores and budgeting and these kinds of things. And I already knew this. It wasn't like a big shock, but I'm also partly in denial. So then when I got the results from this quiz, I was like, oh, geez, I remember this is a problem, and a problem that is like keeps coming up in my life and keeps blocking me. And it feels like I've done things in the past years that I'm really happy about, experiences, some risks that I've taken, and yeah, I've done things, so it's not like nothing's happened. But in general, it feels like my main goal each new year is to really prioritize music, really like put myself out there, take risks doing it. And I'm always like halfway doing it, because I think 2 years ago I quit my part-time job because I had some savings, and I had this whole mission of being free for like 5-6 months and only focusing on writing music, doing the vlogs, and just building up my creative career. And it started out so well, because in the beginning I had so much motivation, and I had this really good routine where I got up every day, I journaled, took a walk, and then I went straight into songwriting. And then in the afternoon I did vlog-related things. And it just rolled very well for about a month or so. But then, I don't know, I think like reality and fears crept up on me, and I started to think about, okay, but what if nothing's happened with this in the next couple of months? What am I gonna do then? Am I gonna get a new part-time job? What am I gonna work with then? Oh, do I want this? What am I gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. So I basically sabotaged myself so hard because I was just 1 month in to my challenge. And then, like for the next month or so, I just couldn't focus, and I just started to look up different part-time jobs that I could do and see if anything were there in the summer. And yeah, the whole thing basically went to shit. But it was still a great experience because I still dared to do it, and it also proved to myself that I actually work really well by myself and on my own terms. So now I know I can do it. So I think it's gonna be better in the future if I try again. And then last year, I think I had the same goal: prioritize music, do gigs, write songs, blah blah blah. And I think I procrastinated songwriting the entire year. Last year, I mean. 2025. Because I had some good periods where I got like a burst of creativity and inspiration and I sat down to write. But then in general, like nothing. Because I know the way to go isn't to just like rely on motivation and inspiration. It's more about actually setting out time to do it and showing up continuously. Even if each session doesn't lead to anything in particular, it's more about the process and something like slowly developing, and also to be able to have fun in this process. And all of these things I know, but it's really hard to implement, because then and there I'm just like, why can't I come up with anything today? I need to write good songs. Why am I not writing anything? My whole life is going to shit, basically. So yeah, I think I have the answers within me. I know that it's, yeah, as I said, about the process, about letting things take time, about having fun in the experience. But it's easier said than done, because I know, of course I want music to be fun, and I don't want it to be something I have to force myself to do. But I guess I kind of need to be forced to get started, to actually get into it, and to actually, yeah, get into the energy so that it can be fun. Because otherwise I'm just putting it off, and then it eventually just leads to me questioning if I even should be doing this. If it would be better if I just got a regular job and just did music as a hobby, if it would take the pressure off. And maybe that's true, I don't know. But still, I've also had this dream of a creative career so long, so it feels like I can't just give up now. It feels like I really want to give it a shot. And that's the realization I had kind of 2 years ago when I turned 25, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in my mid-20s, I really have to do something about this now. Now I'm 27, so years go by quickly when you're procrastinating. So I'm still in the same mindset, I still really want to give it a shot. And now when I'm putting this out there, that I'm like procrastinating away my creative life, yeah, I hope I can hold myself a bit more accountable. And I think like a common thing for people who procrastinate a lot is that we do a lot of preparations. Because I've read so many self-help books, I'm listening to so many self-development podcasts, I know so many things in theory. And I also know that the times where it actually has worked out better for me, with songwriting in particular, is when I have set dates, maybe like I started a bit in fall, to have Mondays and Wednesdays and maybe a day in the weekend also, where I'm doing a songwriting session. And then it's non-negotiable, it's just like, okay, you have to do your vocal warm-up, show up, and just play something, just do something. And it doesn't have to lead to any result. The goal is not about the result or about it turning out to something. It's more the act of showing up and actually sitting down to write. And then I know every time I do this continuously for a couple weeks, it always like leads to good things, it always leads to songs that I'm proud of, or at least ideas. And it's also so much about just like being present in the energy. And it's hard to be present in the energy when you're just thinking about results and kind of just like longing for it to be over and being like, okay, if I just do this, then I can reward myself afterwards and watch a series or something. Which is also great, it can be a good carrot to get yourself started. But I'm just trying to find a way to, I don't know, enjoy it more. To actually let myself enjoy it more. Because it's not that it's boring. I think it's more like painful in a way to meet your own expectations. Yeah, so that's something I've been realizing. Now I sat down because my feet were falling asleep. Maybe I can lower this. Yes, very nice. So that was that. But other from that, I'm having a good start of the year. It feels nice to be back in school because my sleeping cycle were so messed up in the winter break, because I completely went back to teenage mode. I stayed at my mom's place, Casper was also there, he was sick then, and we were just sleeping like so much. And literally when I'm at my mom's, I have to be dragged out of bed because her new power method is to grab my feet and just pull me out of bed. And it's actually insane that I need this still at 27 years of age. but I do because otherwise I can't get up. And I think my procrastination tendencies even affects my sleeping cycle or like my getting out of bed, because literally when I wake up, I'm always like, okay, shit, what do I need to do today? Okay, I'm gonna be filming. Oh, filming. Oh, that's so much pressure. I don't know if I can do this. And then I just snooze my alarm and go back to sleep and wake up late, and the whole day just feels disrupted. Because the thing is that when I actually do get up in time, I actually feel so good and I have actually the most energy in the morning. So it is really important for me to get up, but I'm completely avoiding it. Also a bad trait. But yeah, I had my mom to drag me out of bed in winter break, and then literally like last weekend I even had her call me in the morning to make sure I got out of bed, because I had turned my like daily rhythm so upside down that I was literally awake to like 5, 6, 7 in the morning, and then school starts at 9, so I have to get up at like 8 or something. And then if I have slept 1 hour, as I had on the Friday, I was just like, no fuck, I can't go to school, it's not happening. So that's not what I want to be doing this year. So I'm trying to get myself together. And then, speaking of trying to take escape routes from doing the things that I actually wanted to do, which is, once again, writing music, doing the vlogs, I actually started to stress out a bit about summer and what kind of summer job I was gonna do. Because I have this idea that I want to work full-time for a couple of weeks, make some money, and then be free for the other half of the summer and go travel and just do things. And then I was starting to think, okay, shit, what kind of work am I gonna do? I need to start apply to things. And there aren't so many available positions like out there yet that you can apply for, but I found this one thing that was as like a leader at like a summer camp for children. And it sounded really exciting. It sounded like a really fun job. They were kind of requiring some kind of degree, which I don't have in like pedagogy at all, but I've done like one course at university in like music teaching. So I wrote that, and I wrote this application. And this application, their like form, it took 3 hours to fill out because it was in 2 parts with super much in-depth questions. But I was like, okay, well, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. I know I'm probably not qualified, but whatever. And I sent it in, didn't expect much. And then they got back to me and offered an interview. And I was like, okay, well, can get an interview. I didn't think I was qualified, but yeah. So I did some more research, was super ready, and did the interview, and it was shit. The guy who interviewed me, the boss of the place, he was a bit weird because it wasn't like your regular work interview. It was more like he brought up a scenario with like a kid being like disobedient and asked me what are you gonna do in this scenario, and I was like just pulling something from the back of my head, and we're like, yeah, I'm telling him that it's not good to do a backflip because you can break your neck, blah blah blah, put in better words, of course. And then he wasn't happy with that answer, so he just gave me a lecture about, yeah, this is like a better way of pedagogy, can't pronounce that, whatever. So it was more like a lecture of him like lecturing me, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not qualified for this, and I don't think I can do it either, because if this is the vibe, then I won't be able to survive. So in the end, don't think I got the job because I completely just zoned out for the rest of the interview. Maybe that's not what you're supposed to do, maybe you should just like power through, but I just got so bad vibes from the whole interview and the whole job situation. So no, but it was still really worth to do it, because it was also like a sign that if you just like try, something good can still come out from it. Because partly that I even got the interview, even though I didn't think I was qualified, but also that I tried, because then I knew for sure, okay, this is not the job for me. Maybe, okay, summer camp would have been super cool, but I think just that summer camp in particular wasn't my vibe. Maybe there is like a point behind having some kind of education or experience for something, because then you can do it better. But then I've been a nanny for 4 years in Berlin, so it's not like I'm completely unexperienced, but I'm just rambling. You get my point. It was interesting. But then like the second point being made with this is that of course I can like look for summer jobs, apply, But I don't want it to take over my whole life this entire spring, to just think about what I'm gonna do for half the summer, because I have so many things I want to do in the spring. I'm trying to plan out for a live set that I want to perform, because we have like a little festival or like a concert night in the local village in Ånge, where I'm actually from, and that's in May, and then you can perform, do a live set, so I'm gonna apply to do that. Because I have songs, I'm not super happy with most of them, because it's the songs I wrote 2 years ago. And ever since then, I was super happy about writing these songs, because it's some of them that I'm really happy about. But then some of them I'm just like, god, this is not my vibe. And then I had this expectation on me to write better songs, to write things that are more aligned with my vibe, find the right sound, blah blah blah. And then that basically led me to block myself, because it was so much pressure. But anyways, I think it's gonna be really good for me to have a deadline, because I partly have this deadline in May, when this concert is. And then I also applied to do like a gig at a local music venue. We'll see if they get back to me. And then maybe also organizing something at school, because they also have a scene, so you can do your own little gig there. So I'm gonna try to like throw out the hooks, like do things before I'm ready, because otherwise, even like freaking sending the application to this local music venue, I was super hesitant, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't send it before I have my live set ready. Haven't had my live set ready for the past 2 years. And then I was with my friend Manfred, and he was like, Jesus Christ, send it anyways, because they do the bookings in the beginning of the year, now in winter, for the entire year. So if you want to do something this year, send it in now, because maybe they get back to you with a date in November, I don't know. So I sent it in. I'm feeling very proud. We'll see if it leads somewhere. If not, it's still like putting myself into the energy of actually being someone who is ready to perform a live set. Because it's even insane that I'm so hesitant about it, because this music venue is a place where I performed a lot in high school, and one time I think they even asked me if I could play at a summer festival, and I was like, well, I have this new band that I would love to perform with, and they were like, okay, well, cool, do that. This new band had 0 songs. We had rehearsed maybe 2 times or something. It was totally new, because it was me, Manfred, and another guy, and I think we were also dating, me and the other guy, in the summer, and then we kind of broke it off. And it was a bit of an awkward situation, because we still had this gig that we were gonna do in August, and we realized that it was June, and I think we had like 1 song or something, and we needed to fill 30 minutes. So then it was just to get into work, just do it, just meet up, rehearse, like pull some songs together. And then in the end, it was a really great gig, and I'm super happy about how it turned out. But I really wasn't ready to do it in the beginning, and if it would have been me these days, I wouldn't even have applied, I wouldn't even have thought it was a good idea. But it still worked out very well, and I kind of miss that younger energy of mine, the energy I had when I was 18, 19, younger even, where I was just like, well, I'm completely ready, I'm completely capable, I can do anything, just throw it at me. Whereas now I'm more like, maybe I need to wait another 5 years. But I'm not thinking 5 years, I'm thinking, give me another 5 weeks. And that those 5 weeks turns into a couple years. So yeah. So it's interesting thinking back, because I've done it before, so it can't be impossible now. But yeah, I want to change things this year. And I'm not just saying that, because I also know that nothing changes if you don't change your behavior, if you don't change the way you do things. And I know that, and I really want to do it, and I'm also like throwing this out there to keep myself accountable. So I'm gonna tell you how it goes. Tell me if you experience something similar, if you can relate to this, or if you're more some other sort of perfectionist, where you're more like messy and you start a lot of different projects, have so many ideas, but can't finish things. That was also an aspect. I'm gonna link this book. It was an interesting book. I think I've listened to half of it. Maybe it's not the best self-help book, but it was still really insightful, so I can still recommend it. So I'm gonna link that and continue this day. I feel like I need to cough. I've been holding it in, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. But anyways, thank you for listening. I'm gonna go and eat lunch now.